Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at the Mad Hatter Holiday Festival in Vallejo, California. Today we will be interviewing with one of the Buffalo Soldiers, Trooper
Herb Terry.
And he will be telling us the history of the Buffalo Soldiers.
The Buffalo Soldiers were conceived in 1866 by Congress and the United States government. It was determined that we needed to open up the West to sell land, to raise taxes, to fill the coffers because the country was poor after the Civil War. So we didn't have any troops to send out there, and enough white troops had been killed during the Civil War. So Congress didn't want to send any more white troops. So they got an idea, let's send black troops. So they raised 2 cavalry units and 4 infantry units. The 38th, the 39th, the 40th, and the 41st. Right? Later on, they whittled those down to 2. And then they had the 9th and the 10th Cavalry. We went out west in 1867. We went down to Texas. We fought in what's called the Indian Wars. From 1867 until 1892, we fought Native Americans. We fought Mexican revolutionaries. We fought cattle rustlers. We fought bandits. We protected the mail. We protected the railroads. And we protected the civilian population in the area. But at the same time, if a Buffalo soldier went into town by himself, he probably wouldn't come back. Okay? Now, when we finished out west in 1892, we came out to California, the 10th Cavalry. You know, guess what Buffalo Soldiers did in California?
What did they do?
We built Yosemite National Park.
Wow.
We were the first National Park Rangers.
Wow.
And we did such a good job, they sent us over to Sequoia. We built national parks from Maine to California. Now, after we finished the national parks, they sent us down to Cuba. We fought in the Spanish-American War. We fought alongside Teddy Roosevelt at San Juan Hill. And this is a history note. Teddy Roosevelt did not take San Juan Hill. The Buffalo Soldiers did. Teddy Roosevelt was the last person up on San Juan Hill. He gave the order to charge. His men stood still. Buffalo Soldiers, we move forward. Ready forward, that's our motto.
That's right.
We moved forward. We took the line. We had to hold the line while he ran back and got his troops to bring him up on line. And we're still fighting. And then when he brought up on line, they were sluggish. They didn't want to come. And so we moved forward. We took the hill. We took that hill, San Juan. We took Kettle Hill. Now, after we got finished there, we did not fight in World War I. Buffalo Soldiers did not fight in World War I. There were black troops in World War I, but they were not Buffalo Soldiers.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Buffalo Soldiers were a part of the United States Army. The troops that fought in World War I were from a National Guard unit in Harlem, New York. They were called the Harlem Hellfighters, and they were the most decorated unit in World War I. Now these troops also, when they went to there, the reason there were no Buffalo Soldiers in World War I is because in Houston, Texas, the Buffalo Soldiers got into a scrape with the civilians. At the end of there were 2 Buffalo Soldiers dead. Stay with me, honey. And there were 3 civilians dead. So the military said, we're not going to send them over there to fight. So they sent the Harlem Hellfighters instead. When the Harlem Hellfighters got there, the United States government told the French that they're not going to fight under us, they'll fight with you. And don't be nice to them, don't treat them well because they're not accustomed to that. That's not how we treat them in our country. The French people said, forget that. These people are fighting for us, they're saving us our lives. Fast forward, by the end of the war, they were the most decorated unit in World War I.
Wow. Thank you so much.
I ain't even finished, honey. We'll stop there.
Okay, thank you so much for taking the time out to share this information with our community. This is valuable information, and I'm going to now show you some of the other troops for the Buffalo Soldier. Did you want to introduce them?
And then you're gonna come back, and I'm gonna open this up, and you're gonna fan me.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so I'll let you do the introduction to them.
To these guys, you don't need no introduction. What you want to know? Hey, listen up, fellas. This lady, she needs your help.
Okay, can you just say your name?
My name is Trooper Terrell.
Trooper John Price,
Trooper Harden.
Trooper Oscar Russell,
Trooper Biggs.
These are the, and can you introduce?
Trooper Ivy,
Thank you so much.
Trooper Martin Harris as well.
Thank you. And thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, and these are the display of
I'm
the,
gonna talk to you about it.
okay.
This is an 1859 Sharps. This was one of the weapons that we used as Buffalo Soldiers. After this weapon was used, we used an 1874 Springfield trapdoor rifle. Single shots. All of our weapons were single shots and single action weapons. This is a weapon, an 1873 Colt firearm presented to Single Action Army, 1873. How you operate this weapon is you pull the hammer back to have cock. You open up the loading gate to determine if it's loaded or not. You close the loading gate, pull the hammer all the way back, and you're ready to fire. You need to do this every time you want to fire this weapon.
Wow.
Work.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
My sidearm is the 1870 Smith & Wesson Schofield, 44 caliber.
That boy's got some kick.
Big hole, big hole. Now, how you operate this weapon is, you bring it, let me take the safety off first. You bring the half cock. Open it up, just make sure it's open. Load it. Bring it back down. Ain't no good if it ain't loaded. Close it and fire. You need to do that every time you operate this weapon. This is a single action weapon. The single action is pulling this back and firing.
Wow.
This is the weapon of our adversaries. This is a Winchester, 1873 model. It shoots 15 times without reloading.
Wow.
We were never issued these weapons. They thought we would waste ammunition.
What's up, my brothers? What y'all doing over here?
Tell me right. But I can tell you what's going on. How y'all doing today?
This is a Frontier 45 caliber handgun. This is a weapon used by Native Americans, bandits, and outlaws. How you operate this weapon, the same principle operation. Pull the hammer back to have cock, open this up, spin it, make sure it's empty or loaded. This weapon right here, we picked it up off the battlefield. This is a 45 Colt Frontier single action. This belonged to a gambler and a gunslinger. You can tell, you see these scratches right here? These are notches from people that he killed.
Wow.
Now when we're out in the field, of course you have to take care of your canteen for your water. Now we actually carried 2 canteens because 1 canteen was not going to be enough. Why did we carry 2 canteens? One was for you and one was for your horse.
Right.
And these are our saddlebags. And here you carry all. Like, what do you carry all this stuff for? Cause that horse got to be shoed. I got to pick this out. I got to clean his hose. And I use these to pry the back of the bullets off when I want to make gunpowder. When I want just natural gunpowder. And on the other side would be my binoculars, an extra pair of socks, and normally if I'm going out in combat, I would carry an extra pistol there, because you can never have enough weapons. You have to understand something. When we're fighting, there's 3,000 Native Americans over there. There's only 75 of us.
Wow.
So you don't have time to do all that reloading.
Right.
So you got to carry as many weapons as you can to give you that support and fire. You see the horseshoes here because horses are always throwing shoes. And our horses were not trained to go without shoes. Native American ponies did not wear shoes, but ours did. And you always had to have a pocket knife because in 1876, the year that George Custer was killed at the Battle of Little Bighorn, he carried Springfield 1874 trapdoors, but he had faulty ammunition. And so, after you fired, you would have to open up the trapdoor, you had to take your pocket knife and dig this out. Yeah, you had to dig it out and then start all over. Because they were using the wrong type of casing for the ammunition.
Wow.
There you have it.
Well, thank you so much. That was great information to the soldiers.
Oh, let me say one other thing. Speaking of George Custer, you know, he was offered a commission in the 10th Calvary. He turned it down.
What?
Because it would hurt his career to serve with Negroes. And that's the way most of the white officers felt. They didn't want to serve with us.
That's right.
The officers, we did get some good officers though. Our commanding officer was a great officer. Benjamin Grierson. So I'm the unit historian, so I'll talk forever, honey.
Well, I thank you for sharing so much vital information, because some of this information we was not taught along the way. So I really appreciate you being here today.
But I want you to do one other thing, honey. Look at me from bottom to toe. Do me from bottom to toe. Now, I am the size of a regular United States cavalryman. You couldn't be any taller than 5'8", and you couldn't weigh any more than 145, 150 pounds. So you were small because you had to put the rest of that weight on that horse.
That's right.
But you got to put another 70 pounds on. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. I saw you looking.
I got him.
Okay.
Go ahead, finish your interview. We got you.
Go good. So yeah, so you couldn't be a big guy. And at the end of the day, all these weapons that you're carrying and all these bullets are gonna weigh you down. Because if I was going to combat, I would have a shoulder holster here with another pistol. And I would have my tomahawk. But I didn't bring all that out because it's raining today.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're done, honey.
Okay.
You can
well,
edit
thank
that.
you again for the time that we have here at the Mad Hatter Holiday Festival in the city of Vallejo, California. Please come out. They are part of the holiday festival.
You know, I'm
Thank
watching.
you.
I got you.